whale sharks. Well, they're called whale sharks for several different reasons, two of which, number one, they eat like a lot of other species of whale. They are filter feeders. A second reason is because of their size. They are really quite large. But let me tell you how large they can become. We have 4 whale sharks, 2 females, 2 males. Our males are Yushiwan and Taroko. Our females are Alice and Trixie. Our viewing window is 61 feet wide. I'm standing right about the middle. We would not be surprised if one day our whale sharks grow to the length of the distance between me and the exit to Ocean Voyager. Just to give you a visual on that, if I went out and drove a big yellow school bus in here, that's how big our whale sharks could become one day. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, they are a species of shark. They are the largest fish in the ocean. And I'm sure some of you are wondering, and you can show me by raising your hand, I bet you're curious why they aren't eating the smaller fish in Ocean Voyager. Great thing to wonder, and I'm going to tell you why. When you watch the whale sharks swim by, you're going to see that their mouth can be 4 to 5 feet wide. Their throat, the size of a quarter. So the biggest fish in the ocean eats the smallest animal life in the ocean. We feed our whale sharks krill, which is a shrimp, a microscopic shrimp-like animal. And we feed them silver sides and a green jello-like substance, which is full of nutrients and supplements to balance their diet. So you're saying, okay, you told me why the whale sharks can't eat the smaller fish. But what about the giant grouper or that giant hammerhead shark? That great hammerhead I saw swim by a minute ago. Well, I'll tell you why. There's a really good reason for that too. They're not hungry. And unlike me, they do not eat when they're not hungry. We put about 360 pounds of food into this habitat each and every day, 180 pounds in the morning and 180 pounds in the afternoon. Now, every once in a while, we will see some unauthorized snacking, but I have been a volunteer for more than 2.5 years, and I have never seen it happen. Now, to introduce you to another animal that lives in Ocean Voyager, right here is one of my favorites. This is a giant grouper. Don't ever get into a steering contest with a giant grouper. You will lose. Now, the giant grouper finds its home off of Australia. They can live to be 50 years old and weigh 800 pounds. Now, let me tell you something about the giant grouper, or grouper. When you go out to dinner and you want seafood, how many of you order grouper? Before I became a volunteer at the GA Aquarium, I used to order grouper. But then I started learning about grouper. They are on their way to being endangered. We consider them a non-sustainable fish. That means we're taking them out of the ocean much faster than they can reproduce. At the GA Aquarium, we have a really great program called Seafood Savvy. It's a little card, and you're going to be able to use as a reference when you go out or you go to the grocery store to buy fish. It helps you make a better choice. Choose a sustainable fish, such as tilapia. And I hope when you leave here today, you'll think about trying to save the fish in here that are becoming endangered because we take them out of the ocean so quickly. Now, to introduce you to another animal in here, I would like to introduce you to Nandi. Nandi is one of the newest members of Ocean Voyager. She is our giant manta ray. She does not have a barb that stings, so they are no threat to man whatsoever. However, we are a threat to them. Now, Nandi is about 9 feet from wingtip to wingtip, weighs in at a very svelte 460 pounds. But when Nandi grows up, she can be up to 30 feet wide and weigh 6,000 pounds. Now, if you're wondering, do we have room for Nandi? call the whale shark? Well, as a matter of fact, we do. We could comfortably house 6 adult whale sharks plus Nandi. I wanted to tell you about one other fish that's really interesting here. It's called the hump-headed wrasse. When it swims by the window, you're going to see it has a really large hump on its head, and I'll see if I can find one while I'm talking. Hump-headed wrasse, in many cultures across our planet, are considered a fine dining delicacy. They are very endangered. If you wanted to purchase part of the fish, their lips would cost you $250 a pound. Now here's a little bit of trivia about the hump-headed wrasse. All of the hump-headed wrasse in the world, along with 32% of all fish, start their lives as a female. The dominant male will die of that group. One of the females instantly changes sex, starts swimming in circles, and refuses to ask for directions. Now, I have to tell you that the other day I was saying, come on, gentlemen, you have to give me something for me to say about you. And this nice gentleman over here said, and they quit nagging the rest of us. And I said, touche, touche. Anyway, that's just some of the animals that live in Ocean Voyager. And right back here swimming across from me is a fairly young hump-headed wrasse. But as you can see, he's beginning to develop a hump on his head. The larger the hump, the more dominant the male. Getting back to our one world ocean that I talked about earlier, there are animals living here that would not normally live in the wild. But you know what? These animals cannot speak for themselves today, so it is my honor to speak for them. We depend upon the ocean for survival. It depends upon us. 70% of the oxygen that you breathe each and every day is created by the ocean. If the ocean is in trouble, we are in trouble. So when you leave the GA Aquarium today and you head for your homes, I hope that you will think back about some of the animals that you met here today, because really, it's only one world ocean. It's one planet, it's a blue planet, and it's one world ocean. Whether we live in Atlanta or Cairo or Paris, we are all part of this one world system. So when you go home, I hope you think about the things you put down your drain in your kitchen, or think about the chemicals you put on your lawn, because it all ends up in the ocean. And I hope when you leave here today, you will work hard to become a caretaker of the sea. Help save their world, they will help save ours. It's been my pleasure to talk to you for a few minutes today about Ocean Voyager and the animals I love. If you have any questions, I'll be down here. Please feel free to approach me. I just have one request.